Look at this magic. Look at this magic. You see him? You don't see him. I was asking Sean how it all started for him.
So I started at the age of 6, is when I learned my very first magic trick. And then as I grew older, I grew up watching a lot of YouTubers and people creating content online. And I realized that I could mix the two passions together. I started at the age of 10, March of 2012 is when I posted my very first YouTube video, just for me and my friends to watch. And then, we just kept posting from there. Didn't really get as much traction on YouTube, but as I found other apps like Instagram and TikTok, that's where I found my audience.
No, but what was the breaking point? What was the moment everything exploded? Because if you listen to Gary Vee,
Right.
if you listen to Casey Neistat or
Right,
whoever,
right.
it takes ages for you to become, let's say, a viral hit or whatever.
Right. I started when I was 10 and I was posting videos for 4 years straight on YouTube just for fun, for me and my friends, just magic videos and just videos that I thought that were fun, some comedy skits here and there. And it was kind of my moment of trial and error where, you kind of have to build and learn as much as you can. I learned how to edit over time. I learned how to make thumbnails. Eventually, I ended up starting to do Instagram a little bit. This is when Vine kind of died and then people transitioned onto Instagram.
Were you sad?
A little bit. That's where I kind of had my first little roll of followers. In 2017, I think I ended the year with 38,000. So we started to grow a little bit, but it wasn't until February of 2019 where I joined TikTok earlier than most people. February of 2019, that's when they were transitioning from Musical.ly to TikTok. And I was one of the first people. And within the first couple of months, I hit 1 million.
Wow. Analyzing that, what would you say? What would your advice be to the younger guys? What should they focus on and how to make that breaking point? I think it was harder to get that 38,000 than the last million, yeah? Isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest thing is a lot of trial and error. You can know as much as you can about the algorithm, about thumbnails, but a lot of it's like dependent on every niche. You have to put in the hours to try to figure out what works for your niche. What works for my magic community or magic won't necessarily work for someone who's trying to teach someone how to plant a tree. It was those years prior of like just me doing it for fun, but also trying to slowly build that audience that kind of led up to that moment of that breaking point.
No, that's for sure. But a lot of people give up on that road.
For sure, I think there's a lot of people in almost any space that's trying to do social media, and a lot of people will end up kind of falling or giving up. But it's that consistency and being persistent.
When is the turning point? And how you achieve that you are being that's your job? What is the turning point in the number of followers or the topics, or who are the sponsors you have for your videos, or how do you monetize your presence on media?
For sure. So I was doing videos for a good amount of time, and then I ended up hitting that 1 million, and I continued to grow through TikTok and whatnot. And then I realized that just like there was a lot of creators at around 1 million, 2 million that weren't monetizing, weren't making revenue with a lot of their content, and I was struggling with that too at first. But then I was able to find an agency. I found Collab, and they were the ones who kind of started getting the ball rolling, getting me connected with brands and whatnot. I think one of the biggest things was making sure that my page was like kind of brand friendly. We kind of needed to do a little bit of like trials of how do you integrate magic and brands and whatnot. It was definitely a huge thing because I find this with a lot of creators. A lot of creators are young and they're devoted to what they're doing, but a lot of people don't know the business side. And same here. That's why I'm coming to conferences like Web Summit, Vid Summit, all these other amazing conferences just so I can learn more about the business. But a lot of us are young and we just graduate high school or whatever, and we're focused on making the content. I think it's really important for a lot of people who have a following to have some sort of agency or representation to help you with the business side, because I was taking deals that 1% of how much I should really be making prior to an agency. And so creator economy is very new, and we're still trying to learn what our true value is.
No, that's for sure. Like the guys like Gary Vee or Casey Neistat heavily monetized it. But one guy also heavily monetized it, and it's David Dobrik.
Yes.
And you met him a year ago.
Yes.
Okay, amazing ideas, amazing creator, amazing following.
Yes.
7-8 million views per each video. But you met his publicist, you met his agency. They're also doing a good job creating other stuff like podcasts, like websites, like perfume, like video games or whatever.
Merch,
merch
which
is big, yeah?
Yeah.
What's that?
And that's actually something that we're talking about here at Web Summit, is like, how do you take the momentum that you have as a creator and be able to translate it into a business?
You can have an amazing following, and you can have a monetization zero.
It's true, and so that's why you'll see a lot of creators like Emma Chamberlain. She released her own coffee brand. Logan Paul created Maverick by Logan Paul, which was a whole clothing brand just about being a maverick. David Dobrik with clickbait. One of more in my space is there's this guy named Dylan. He does the ice cream. I don't know if you've seen him. But he does like the ice cream POV, and now he's opening his own ice cream shop. Regardless of where the content goes, he's still able to have a business in itself that is sustained through the content.
But I think everything should start from your heart, from your soul, do a thing that you love and give value to people. Have you met Gary Vee?
Yes. Giving value is one of the most important things, and that's what, I started growing a little bit. I went up to 3 million, and then what exploded my page is, just looking back in hindsight, is like, it was giving value. I started the series called Teach a Magic Trick, where I would have my friends come up to me with random objects, and I would teach magic. I went from 3 million, and then every single week for 6 weeks straight, 1 million new followers just through the series. It was providing value, teaching people how to do an art form that a lot of people love. So I think that advice is very true.
I see your passion of traveling around the shows and learning new stuff and so on. You like to improve yourself.
The biggest power that you can give to yourself is knowledge and being able to learn as much as you can. You could say that there's so many things that you accomplish, but like, there's so much more to accomplish and so much more to learn. And it's great to be at events like this because, as much as a lot of businesses are trying to learn social media people are trying to learn the business. And so it kind of goes hand in hand, and it's great to be in an environment like this. SeanDoesMagic, thank you very much for this interview. I never spoke with a more eloquent and more passionate 19-year-old. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next time you meet David Dobrik,
yes,
can you please tell him you met a 46-year-old guy, almost like Jason Nash, almost like Jason Nash. That's a huge fan of his.
Okay, I will make sure to. You got my word.
Thank you for all the magic, Sean.
Thank you so much.